Sensei Alex Kakuyo, North American contributor for Buddhistdoor Global. Thanks for joining me for this episode of The Ordinary Buddhist. The title of today's talk is Good Enough is Good Enough. Before we get into that, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified when I post talks in the future. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, that'd be great too. If you've been following the channel for a while, you'll know that one of my hobbies here on the homestead is woodworking. I'm nowhere near a master carpenter or master furniture maker. However, thanks to the magic of YouTube, I've learned that with a saw, a screw gun, and some construction-grade lumber from the hardware store, you can build some pretty cool stuff. And over the past couple of years, I've built tables, chairs, shelves, etc. Basically, anytime I can find an excuse to build furniture instead of purchasing it, I take the opportunity. It's a fun hobby, however, there are some drawbacks. One being that I'm not perfect at it. Every time I work on a project, there's always issues that come up. A corner that doesn't come together quite right, a table that's a little bit wobbly and a leg needs to be adjusted as a result. And what I've found is that oftentimes, even after I adjust things as much as I can, there's still issues. There are still imperfections in my work. What I have found, however, on top of this, is that even if the table or the shelf or the chair aren't perfect, they still do the job. The chair still supports my weight, the table still holds my belongings, the shelves still help me organize things. In other words, they're good enough. And I've found that when it comes to furniture, things don't have to be perfect to be good. In fact, usually, no one notices the imperfections that I think are so glaring, except for me. Now, this is true for amateur woodworkers like myself, but it's also true for Buddhist practitioners. Oftentimes, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, thinking we need to meditate for a certain amount of time, or we need to recite a chant a certain number of times each day. That if we can't sit in the perfect lotus position, then we're somehow failing in our practice. However, Buddhism is not about perfection. Buddhism is about the good. That is, our practice simply needs to be good enough to support us in everyday life. As long as we're doing it, we're going to get some benefit, in the same way that as long as we build something with the wood, we'll find a use for it. Oftentimes, no one finds the imperfections of our practice except for us. Maybe we think we don't meditate enough, but someone else might think we meditate quite a bit. Maybe we're not happy with the intonations of our chanting, but other people are quite put on by the harmony of our voice. If we stop trying to be perfect and simply allow our practice to be good enough, taking joy in the attempt rather than the perfection, what we'll find is that we'll get more benefit out of the practice and we'll be more motivated to continue. Thus, we'll continue on the path towards enlightenment, ending suffering both for ourselves and others. Amitabha.